What's up, you guys? This is Rob from the Guy Plays, and today on the Daily Grind, we're going to be taking a look at the recently buffed Ogris. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking me to actually go ahead and cover this weapon because nobody really touched this weapon after the recent rework. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's mainly because I don't really feel like all too much has changed. There are a couple of things that have really kind of like improved the Ogris's performance, but it's not like earth-shaking, it's just kind of fun, I guess you would say that. So, for those of you who don't know, its flight speed has been increased, its charge rate has been increased, so it shoots off faster. It got a boost to its explosion radius, which was 6 meters, which, to be honest with you, I think it was like 5 meters before, so it's really just a 1 meter increase, and a little bit more when you hit it with Firestorm. And then the biggest thing to it is that its status chance has actually been boosted up to 35, which means that it's got a really chunky status chance, and you can really push it up there into the 90s, 100%. So let's actually just start from here, because I've got a couple different builds that I'm going to show you, and it's mainly, how do I say this, based on faction and based on what kind of fun you want to have with the weapon, because to me, the Ogris still stays as kind of like a staple. It'll serve you throughout the star chart, it'll get you through Kua floods, and it'll get you through sorties, as long as you are building it appropriately, either for the appropriate elemental combo or you're building it for the appropriate status chance. So this is actually one take that I currently have, which is what I would use on Grineer if I feel like confusing and viraling enemies. And as you can kind of see, this is really loose. I didn't want to go ahead and do a snapshot on it because this is really, the weapon's not casual, but the discussion about it is really casual because it's just kind of like fun, I guess you would say. This is going to be the build that I use for Infested and Grineer. As you can see, I have my Prime Beam of Grineer on at the moment because I was testing it against Grineer recently, and I've got Night Watch Napalm on. Now, I really like this one for like tougher targets or for choke points, because what it kind of does is it's got innate fire procs built in, so it tends to panic enemies that get caught in it, meaning you can hit them with follow-up shots. So that's what I really like about it, and Firestorm is always kind of like a great use of this weapon when you are using it with frames like Wukong. As you can see, I have equipped specifically because I will die if it was not for him. And the last one is the Corpus variant, which basically I use gas. Now you can also use magnetic, which is totally fine. It's just, for me, I was like, hey, I've got a 93.9% status chance, so why not go ahead and use some gas damage so I can proc a whole bunch of poison and just bypass the shields. That's just a personal feeling of mine. It's not really, like I said, this isn't a weapon that I want to say that I take all too seriously. It's great at like clearing through enemies, but this isn't gonna be like the be all end all. Oh my god, like you have to use this weapon only in like top end because it's so freaking good. Legitimately, for me, the Ogris is just a shit ton of fun. I'm actually gonna go ahead and just do a couple solo missions real quick to show you exactly kind of like what to do. Usually with the daily grinds, I kind of go around and I play a bunch of different things, but legitimately I kind of just want to show you exactly how things perform and chat about the weapon itself. Now, I think one of the reasons why people really haven't covered this too much is because, like I said, it doesn't feel like that much of a gameplay change. You still pretty much use it the exact same way that you used it before, except now you've got status built into it, and the status actually really helps support the weapon, which is like, it's a support weapon, but at the same time, it also supports itself. So it's kind of like you've got, if you pump in like high corrosive damage to it, right? You get a lot of corrosive procs. You get a lot of corrosive procs, its follow-up shots perform even better. So it helps itself, but in all honesty, it also kind of like helps your team. Like if you're playing in a group, thing, it's just really fun because you'll clear out a lot of like the weaker targets. Ooh, this is one of the things that I don't like about this. Does not perform all that well against what is it called? Against single targets, because you're going to be using a lot of ammo. That's one of the downsides of this weapon, is that while this weapon is really fun to use, at the same time it's only got 20 max ammo, and that is, to be honest, a bit painful. You're constantly gonna have to keep searching up ammo just ammo in general for this. But here's the cool thing that I do have to say. Because of the fact that they shifted some of the damage away from its actual missile point of contact, and they put it more into the actual explosion of the weapon, it causes you to kind of like rethink the way that you place this, because I no longer shoot, well, I don't think I ever did really shoot enemies directly. I kind of more shot in the general area of a group of enemies, because that's what this weapon is really made for. This weapon is really made for taking out groups. So and because of the fact that it's got such low ammo, you almost need to rely on taking out groups with it, because if you don't, you're basically going to kind of go through all of your ammo, and you're still going to have a bunch of enemies to take out. So really, you want to think about where you're placing all of these. And let's see if I can hit it right there. See? So it's all about like clearing enemies out in one big shot. I mean, it's a big fucking rocket. Like, I mean, and this is why I don't think too many people have covered it, because it's a very simple weapon. There's no crazy mechanics to it, like, you know, we had the Mutilus Quanta, the new Panthera. I want to see if I can hit that right there. Oh, it's rotating around. Come on, let me just hit you. Come on, there you go. Still didn't hit it. That does not count. But yeah, you rely heavily on either ammo restores or, you know, RNG to kind of like make sure that you get the right ammo drops. Or, you know, if you guys are carrier fiends and you have the ammo mutation, you can use that as well. Ignore the fact that this weapon does not does not match my Wukong. But yeah, I mean, to me, actually, after picking it up and playing with it a little bit more, because, to be honest with you, I wasn't playing with this weapon. I was not playing with this weapon at all. I was not playing with this weapon, like, whatsoever, until you guys asked for it. And I'll be honest, I'm having a good time with it. I'm actually really enjoying it. However, it kind of has always made me think I need to get into, like, higher ground, better positioning for my shots, because legitimately, you do gotta be a bit careful with this weapon. Even with Wukong, I'll be honest, I was leveling it up because I had to put some forma into it, and what ended up happening was, even through Defy, I was hitting myself so freaking hard that I was still dying. I don't know how it happened. I don't know how that happened mechanically, but it did. Oh shit. Here's a tip. If you've got... Okay, well, here's a tip, don't die. But the tip that I was going to give you is if you've actually kind of got it queued up. Oh shit, wrong thing. What am I doing? Ah, there you go, there's Defy. If you've got it queued up, you can just hit, for anybody who's new, a lot of people, veterans already know this, but you can hit reload to cancel that shot. That way you don't actually shoot yourself in the face when you fuck up like I did. So yeah, keep that in mind, because that's definitely a thing. And why do I feel like I don't have rage on this, which is really bothering me, because I'm gonna run out of energy very soon. Oh no, I'm good. But yeah, so I guess that's kind of like my whole stance on the Ogris, is the status is great, because legitimately before, the Ogris just had its base damage. That's all the weapon was like base damage, and you know, just kind of crossing your fingers that you would get a knockdown, so that you can wait for another rocket to go off, because it took so damn long to actually shoot this. Now, build-wise, you don't necessarily even need to use speed trigger, but, you know, me personally, I like firing off really quick. That sounds bad. Well, you know, sometimes you don't have all the time in the day to wait, so you need to fire off real quickly. But no, so I'm definitely... I definitely like the additional status to it, because it adds another layer to what this weapon can do, aside from just straight up damage. It gives it a little bit more of an umph, especially in the sorties, because then you can... oh, thank God for fucking Defy. Then you can pile on some status, and you can provide a little bit of control. Or, like I was saying, you can use viral and radiation to make for an even more entertaining time, because legitimately that's the only reason I use viral and radiation with it, is because I like to watch enemies fight each other and like have half health. And that, you know, number one, that's great because it's actually a little bit of CC. See, now I'm rationalizing my fun, but you know, it's a little bit of CC, but at the same time, it's also a nice debuff. You know, you get a little a little debuff. Oh my god, I just thought about this. What about like fucking using gas sarin with this? Ooh, that would be really interesting. Like a gas sarin or a viral sarin or a toxic sarin alongside the Ogris. That might be really, really fun to play around with, right? At least in my eyes it would be. And another credit to Sarin's design, being able to play with status in lots of different ways. But yeah, no, see, you just get creative with it. When you get weapons like these, like the for fun weapons, sometimes you're allowed to get creative and you can kind of really play with it and not necessarily take it super, super seriously as you would with some of the other weapons, right? Because a lot of the other weapons are very, very min-maxy, and while I wouldn't say that this is necessary. Oh, okay, I just figured out how to fucking deal with them. If those drones are up towards the ceiling, you can actually just aim next to the drones near the ceiling and explode them, and then boom, nullifier issues are gone. Wow, live on the Daily Grind, we figure out how to finally fucking do it. I'm sure there are other geniuses out there that are gonna be like, Rob, I've known how to do that this whole time, and I ran out of ammo, didn't I? So okay, so as you can see, that is one of the issues that you will find with the Ogris. But you know what? I was gonna wait it out and use a different weapon, but let's just go ahead and do this, and just keep using the weapon. The weapon is, oh, my cat already killed it. Damn it! I wanted to go ahead and, oh yes, okay, we're gonna try it. Come on. What? What? That's bullshit. Let me use my cool new thought process, which I guess just did not fucking work. That was an epic fail. And we burned like we burned like a quarter of your ammo doing it. But that is one of the things that I like about the Ogris too, is the fact that you can actually, and this is a little bit lazy, but what you can do is you can basically look at the minimap sometimes, and you could just kind of figure out where enemies probably are, and you could just like shoot in that general direction. Like, like, especially when you've got Firestorm on and you've got a good hefty range on it, you can basically just say, all right, I think you're about there. Like, okay, are these guys like on top of me? Where am I? Where am I? Wait, I gotta make sure I'm looking at the right area. Hold on. Now I'm just dicking around, and you know what? That's the cool thing about this weapon, is the fact that you can kind of just dick around. Are you even here? Is there anybody even here? No? No? Okay, well, I'm aiming into nothing, so I'm just gonna go ahead and move out of this and finish up this mission. And yeah, that's the thing about the Ogris, and I think that's why a lot of people aren't covering it, is because it's just a for fun weapon. I personally don't dislike it. I think I enjoyed myself with it a lot. So real quick, I wanted to give you guys eyes on the Grineer variant that I use with this, which is the viral and radiation. Oh my god, I'm like dying left, right, and center. It's crazy. And this is one of the other reasons why I don't use the Ogris, is because I will legitimately just consistently murder myself over and over and over again, which is pretty hilarious, especially when you're using someone like Wukong. At least you can feel halfway decent about it, but you know, it's not necessary. You gotta be a little bit more careful than I am, especially in missions, because of the fact, especially if you're putting, oh my god, it just does not end. It's like every shot that I land with this weapon is just consistently killing me. Especially when you've got viral on this thing, it's gonna be a little bit nasty. But maybe you want to toss a little radiation on yourself. You want to kill some of your friends. You can go ahead and do that with this weapon, which is kind of like, you know, half the fun in it is just to have a shit for fun weapon. And I mean, it's not even, I can't even call this like a shit weapon. It's not a shit weapon. It's just a fun weapon, that's effective in the normal range where weapons are normally effective. I know that sounds fucking weird, but you know, this isn't like the level 145 killer of all things. I mean, I'm sure you could if you pumped enough rockets into something, but legitimately, it's not, you know, with such a small ammo pool, you know, that's not what this weapon is gonna be optimized for, you know? This weapon is gonna be optimized for pretty much the star chart and clearing out waves of enemies. Like, it's really, really good. I actually was using this in Hydron earlier, and I just basically parked myself over the, what is it called? I parked myself over the defense pod a couple times. Not regularly, but I did for a couple of them. And basically what ended up happening was you just toss this down there at the pod and you explode on a bunch of enemies and boom, you're done. And it's literally that simple and easy and that enjoyable, and it's really satisfying for star chart stuff. And I know that I hate saying it like, ooh, star charts, oh, it's only good in the star chart. Is that really so freaking terrible if a weapon's only good in the star chart? That's what a majority of players play. I mean, unless you're an extended run player, then that really shouldn't concern you, right? Like, oh, how fast can it kill a level 145? How often are you fighting level 145s? And I'm gonna ask you right now, if you say in the comments below, oh, I do it on a regular basis, then baby, make sure to leave me your IGN. Make sure to leave me your IGN so I can check your in-game profile. I can check what leaderboards you're on, because you don't sit there and fight level 145s often. You know what I mean? I think sorties, like level 3 sorties, only take you up against like level 100s. Like, you don't actually get too much higher than that. That's also why I love the Ogris, because legitimately you don't even have to like fucking, you're like, oh, you're there, oh, you're in cover, okay, well, I'm just gonna shoot a rocket at you and you're done, and you're done. But yeah, to all those people, oh, I fight level 145s all the time, leave me your IGN. Leave me your IGN. Let me check on you, because I'm tired of all these people talking about how good they are from behind the motherfucking keyboard and not really even leaving proof behind it. Yeah, because here's the thing. It's like we shouldn't be. We should, and I should really kind of like change my vocabulary on here. Not feel bad that something is good across the star chart, you know? As long as it's good all the way up to sorties, that's kind of like what the devs have said is, these are your challenge modes, have fun, you know? Now if you want to create your own challenge mode by doing endless for like 2 hours, that's on you. But literally, as far as they're concerned, the highest that they're going is like level 100. So I mean, maybe that's what we should gauge it on, is just level 100s. Because that's the highest that you'll be facing in game. So if it takes you two or three missiles to take down a level 100, and you're not doing level 100 super often, unless you're on the 3rd round of your sorties, then you should be fine. So I'm gonna say the Ogris is good. I'm gonna say that the Ogris is an awesome weapon with really low ammo that lets you hit enemies from behind cover without trying very hard. Was that a dead body? Yeah, that was a dead body. And I think that we have this, and oh god, fucking thank you Wukong. Thank you Wukong. And I think that there's a certain culture that's built up by certain parts of, you know, our community that shames things for only being good on the star chart. Like, I mean, and I know I test things on level 145, and that's because there is that part of the community that is gonna call you out for it, be like, oh, did you even test this on true endgame content? I'm like, IGN, please. IGN, please. Leave me your IGN, boo. Talk to me about endgame content. You know what? This asshole. I love how these guys just end up stocking up right there. But yeah, no, it's good. It's good and it's fun, and the status has really kind of like improved its performance in a way that is entertaining but also effective at the same time, because you get to be creative with the way that you play it, you know? You can use magnetic damage, because if we're just looking at damage numbers, like especially for the Corpus build, right? If we're just looking for damage numbers, you would want to go with either pure toxin, or you would want to go with you'd either want to go with pure toxin, or you would want to go with magnetic. And I mean, those would really be your two ways to go, but because of the fact that this thing can proc gas, like, you have another avenue to kind of say, ooh, well, I'm gonna make this gas cloud rocket launcher, right? Oh no, I just realized political climate probably should not be talking about gas rockets. Oh no, maybe we should just cut it off right here and just just not talk about explosive weapons whatsoever. Jesus. See, that's what happens. That's what happens when you use gas rockets. You end up getting bombed yourself. Oh no, this has turned into a terrible social commentary. Technically, I'm not using gas rockets though. These are the viral. Oh, they're viral rockets. It's all gone downhill. It's all gone downhill. It's okay. The mission's almost over anyway. Now it's time for me to go. Now it's time for me to end this right here. Just skedaddle, get on out of this subject. But yeah, so play around with the Ogris. Just be very, very careful because of the fact that you will probably blow yourself up if you haven't refreshed yourself with the new fire rates and the new flight speed. Because that flight speed is pretty gosh darn good, I have to say. That was a nice buff, because one of the things that I failed to mention before, you know, we started talking about all of the terrible political things that are going on right now, is the fact that because of the fact that you have a faster flight speed, you don't have to lead your targets as much as you did before. And let's face it, you have a fucking massive explosion radius. You didn't really have to lead your targets that much to begin with. So this really helps with quality of life, and that's basically what all of the issues were just really quality of life issues. It hasn't taken the Ogris into like some crazy end game, you know, like 2 hours into endless mission kind of weapon. It's just the same. It's just the same old fun weapon that it used to be, with a little extra from status. So it's like an extra, it's like sprinkles on your ice cream. You don't need it there. Actually, this weapon probably needed it there. It's like the chocolate fudge on your ice cream, or extra sauce, caramel sauce, strawberry sauce. It makes it better. It makes it a good deal better. But it still doesn't change the fact that it's an extremely sugary dessert that will probably end up giving you diabetes. So I think that's where I'm gonna end this. So as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch yo body. I will see you guys again next time. Bye-bye!